Good afternoon, everybody. How are you guys doing? Is everyone doing okay? Very nice. 17 of you guys, so that's exciting. I hope you guys are having an amazing time wherever you are in the world. It is right now 4:20 p.m. on a Saturday here in Florida. Super hot. Just got done cleaning my truck. I'm exhausted. So I figure, why not? Why not do a live stream with you guys so that you guys can feel a little more connected to me and we can talk some audio. Sometimes, to be honest with you, I get a little tired of filming and shooting content. In case you guys do not know, that takes so much work to do. A 15-minute video takes me 3 to 3.5 hours to do. By the time I am done editing, uploading it, correcting mistakes, doing other takes, guys, it is like so time consuming. I prefer to do these live streams, but unfortunately, I have to be honest, not much money from YouTube comes through these live streams. I have to keep pushing content out to remain relevant. That said, we are almost at 11,000 subs, so we have to be excited for that. I'm very excited for that. Okay, so do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Let's get everybody to come and join us. Let's have a very beautiful discussion today. And that way, YouTube algorithm can alert everybody else who is subscribed to the channel to the fact that we are here having a conversation. So hit that thumbs up, guys. And we are going to get started shortly. In the meantime, let me show you a couple of things for those of you who are early, which, by the way, I do appreciate. I did fix the woofer. Okay, so the woofer is already up and running, in case you're wondering. As you can see, I have a Constellation Taurus stereo amplifier now in the lab. I also have the matching Constellation Pictor preamplifier with the DC filter. Okay, and those two components are phenomenal. Okay, phenomenal to say the least. But I'm not going to get into detail as far as Constellation. I want you guys to hear it. So it's been a minute since I've done any sort of like videos of the system playing. So I got to swing back around to that because I am getting a lot of requests, okay, from you all as far as, hey, Jay, can we hear your system? We want to take a listen as to what it is doing today with everything else that you have new in the lab. So I'm going to be doing that over the next few days. I know you guys are asking me for that, and I've just been very busy, guy, with a new job. I started a new job. I'm trying to get my website to go live. So there is so much work behind the scenes that leaves me drained by the time I'm done, guys. Okay, so it is such a huge effort to do a YouTube channel. I can't begin to tell you. And I've been very vocal about the fact that YouTube does not pay my bills. It's not enough for me to survive, to maintain my life, my lifestyle, and what I need. So I have to have a 9 to 5. So to me, that is priority number one, my job. Okay, just so you guys know. Okay, a lot of good questions. When we get to 50 people, 49. Okay, before I get started, when we hit 50, hit the thumbs up, hit the like button, guys. Click it so we can get more people to join us, okay? That's the purpose of doing that. Hitting the like button calls people to come join us for this conversation, okay? So just hit that thumbs up. Let's get the YouTube channel to understand that we're having a very, very interesting discussion here. And I'm about to answer a lot of questions. So awesome, 50 of you. Okay. I wanted to say that I have added a new feature that YouTube just unlocked for me. Okay. And that is called Super Chat. Super Chat, which you should be able to find it somewhere on your screen, either on the lower part of the screen. There's going to be like what appears to be a dollar sign, Okay, that dollar sign is a donation that you make to me. Okay, and that donation will go towards potential giveaways and things that I'm thinking about bringing to the channel. So if you see the dollar sign underneath the chat somewhere and you click it and you donate, that comes to me. Now, keep in mind, a third of that YouTube takes for them. They keep a third of that donation. So all that money doesn't come to me 100%. Now, the beautiful thing about the super chat is that when you donate, I see a text on the screen letting me know that you have donated. Okay. And the cool thing about that is when I see that show up on the screen and you can actually post a question, I get to see your question highlighted. So I will be responding to those questions that obviously are contributing to the channel. I will make a much more direct effort to answer those. Okay, so it's a way of you guys helping out. If you're interested in helping, again, hit that dollar sign underneath, contribute, and I will make sure that your question does not go unanswered. Okay, so I'm going to try to answer a lot of questions. For those of you who contribute, guys, I will make sure that I do. All right, Peter, thank you. Peter donated. Thank you, Peter, for the donation. You want to know if I think the Maestro has an average sound stage depth or is it above average? Peter, the Maestro is a very big sounding speaker. It has an enormous sound stage. It's got a lot of depth. It's got a huge, huge presentation, top to bottom, left to right. Now, the one thing the Maestro, in my opinion, needs, the Focal Maestro, Peter, it needs room to breathe around it. You can't put this speaker in a corner, up against walls. I believe when you do that, Peter, you lose the magic and the capability of the speaker. The speakers should be able to disappear in your room. Okay? So yeah, 45 of you guys are here right now. Let me see. Okay, who else? What about impressions of the Burmeister System at Expona, guys? The Burmeister System, in my opinion, was lackluster. Okay, lackluster. I didn't like it. I thought it was very, very, very weak. Hit that thumbs up, guys. We have 45 people in here. Get more people involved. Let's get more people to show up here so we can have a beautiful discussion. I'm going to make an effort to answer many, many questions. If you are interested in donating to the channel, there is a dollar sign underneath the chat. You'll see it. All you got to do is click it and then make a donation. When you do that, your questions will be put in front of everybody else's, and I'll be able to answer your specific questions with much more detail. Okay, that's a way of you essentially helping me and being thankful for what I do. Okay, so if you are interested, again, you don't have to. If you want to collaborate and help the channel grow, all this money and all these donations will go to future giveaways and things that will go back to you. So they're going to be returned to you all. Okay, just like I did with the AudioQuest outlets. I will be doing that type of stuff going forward. Did I go to the Dynaaudio Room at Expona? I did go to the Dynaaudio Room at Expona. It had some Octave audio tubes. It's a good combination. I've had Dynaaudio with Octave audio before. I loved it. I thought it was phenomenal. It really is a great, great sounding system. Someone wants to know if I am going to try gold Nordos cables. That is not the plan for me. I don't think I'll be able to try a cable that expensive, guys. The Nordos cables are just ridiculously expensive. The gold cables. It's like $30,000 for a power cord. It's just obscene. I could never see myself spending that kind of money. And you guys know I'm crazy. So, you know, I am not afraid of spending the money on some of the craziest electronics available to us today, but I'm not going to go that nuts. I still haven't made it to a mental institution yet. So that's why I'm pumping the brakes and I'm stopping myself from buying Nordos gold cables. Any other questions? Some initial comments about the Nordos QNet. The Nordos QNet, guys, so far has been a revelation. I know you guys are very interested in hearing whether it does help or not. What I'm going to say is, in my system, with the level of gear that I have behind me, it certainly has been a positive improvement. Thank you, Yannick. Thank you, Yannick, for the contribution. I appreciate that. You want to know? Okay. So Yannick, thank you for the donation. Yannick, you want to know? You want to know a little bit about the audiophile switch? Sure, I can tell you a little bit about the audiophile switch. So the Nordos QNet to me has been incredible. I have loved everything about it. It has much more clarity. It will give you more of an organic, real feeling to the presentation. A few days ago, and by the way, it needs approximately 200 hours, Yannick, of breaking time, just so you know. It will have an initial impression of just more nuance, a little more imaging, more separation happening. But as you continue to play it and let it burn in, you start to see more things happening behind the scenes, behind the presentation. Now, for a minute, I thought I was nuts. I was thinking, you know what? Nothing is really happening. It's just me imagining things, because it is a new component. So nothing is really happening. So I plugged it back into the router, my regular router. And Yannick, let me tell you something. When I went back to the old router that I had used all this time, it was immediate. Like it was a slap in the face. I'll leave it at that. It was a slap in the face. I realized how inferior it is going straight into my router. Okay, so more to come on that, Yannick. Okay, so thank you for the donation again. Much appreciated. Okay, for the support that you give me. And here at Jay's Audio Lab, we appreciate all of that. Someone wants to know what power cords am I using on the streamer, on the DAC itself. Power cords right now on the streamer, I am using a transparent Opus Generation 5 power cord. On the DAC, I am using stock power cords. Yep, you heard it, stock power cords into my new power conditioner that I have not talked about yet, the one that I'm going to be representing. Stay tuned for that, because you will get more about that particular brand going forward, and I'm going to showcase it. I'm going to showcase it every time we do a shootout, every time I do some sort of video displaying the attributes of my system and how it sounds. That product will be front and center. Joseph, my man, thank you so much for the donation, Joseph. Much appreciated, my man. What do you want to know, Joseph? Joseph wants to know, do you think I will ever try to audition the name statement preamp at home? Joseph, to be sincere with you, if you want to know that, I have already inquired about the name statement preamplifier. It is very expensive, Joseph. It's like $100,000, more than my Boulder. I'm very curious. The problem with that, Joseph, is the fact that name it's usually like an ecosystem, Joseph. It really is. Okay, so this is the reality is that I need to buy not only just the preamp, Joseph. I got to buy the monos too. And as you know, those monos are like $200,000. We're talking about $300,000, Joseph, in 3 components: 2 monos and the preamplifier, and that's a lot of dough, Joseph. It's a lot of money, my man. I got a lot of stuff right now in here that I need to move. I have the Boulder 3060 that you guys know about. I have the 2110 that you guys know about. I have the Audio Research Reference 6 preamplifier. I have the Constellation setup as well, Joseph. So it has been very hard right now for me. I'm essentially tapped out when it comes to my cash flow. I got to sell some stuff before I begin to buy other serious electronics, okay? Before I begin to bring in some of the best electronics that you guys know are available to us. I need to first sell what I have in here. But I'm not planning on selling my Boulder gear, if anyone is wondering, okay? The Boulder gear is here to stay. Okay, what else? Someone wants to know if I'm using the QCore. I am not using the QCore grounding system. That is not what I'm doing. Hit the thumbs up, guys. Hit that thumbs up, please, so that more people can come and join us. Hit that thumbs up, okay? Click on that like button. It'll help us. It'll help us make this conversation grow much larger. And, of course, we will be able to continue to have a great interaction, and I'll be able to answer as many questions as possible. Okay, so I hope you guys are having a beautiful day, by the way, wherever you are, or nighttime, depending on where you are, what part of the world. I hope you guys are enjoying your day, and that you all have beautiful health, and that maybe you're having your favorite drink. Hey, that's good with me too. Okay. What's my opinion about fuses, guys? Let me just tell you something. Okay, I have a lot of fuses still, aftermarket fuses, and I haven't used them, guys. To be honest with you, I just do too much with my system. I don't have the time to be doing fuses, swapping out fuses, to be changing things. I got too much going on, so I worry primarily about the macro components, not the micro, the tiniest tweaks, the tiniest things, because it's just I rotate too much gear, and so that sometimes is very difficult for me to really keep up with. Okay. Somebody wants to know my opinion on Rockport speakers. I heard the Rockport speakers, Atria, I believe they were, at Expona. Guys, it wasn't really, I hate to judge components and show conditions, because it's not really an accurate representation of what they would sound like in your room. What I can tell you is that I was not really impressed with what I heard. But again, guys, maybe if they were in my room and I used it with my electronics, if I used those speakers with my electronics, my perception of the brand would change. So far, I have not been impressed with Rockport, but that does not mean that couldn't happen. Okay. Maybe I just need to be in the right room with the right Rockport speaker and the right electronics, and my entire perception could completely change. Okay, guys, if you are interested in donating, hit that $sign underneath. You should be able to see it right there, right under the chat. Okay, and once you make that donation, your comment will show up highlighted to me, indicating that you have donated to the channel, and I will make sure I make a huge effort to answer your questions thoroughly. Okay, anytime you make a donation, I will zoom in on your questions, and I will answer your questions thoroughly. Okay, greatly appreciated if you're donating to the channel. All that collaboration, all those donations will go for future giveaways. Okay, just so you know. So anything you can donate, I am thankful for that, because that just shows me you believe in what I'm doing. Okay, someone wants to know if I have tried the Nordos QX for power purifier. Never heard that. Never used it. What else? What am I thinking about? I don't have any experience. Yannick, appreciate it, my man. One more time. Thank you so much, Yannick. Yannick, you want to know about the FureTech plug too, about it. You want to install it soon. Are you talking, if you're talking about the FureTech outlets, Yannick, the FureTech outlets, I actually still have 2 of them in my room that I have not installed. It's a very difficult process to go through. The FureTech outlets, Yannick, are, I would say, easily the very first 3 days are very difficult with them. But it will take you about 3 weeks, 3 weeks of constantly playing. Use amplifiers, preamplifiers, use everything you can that draws a lot of power on those outlets. They need a lot of hours, 500 to 1,000 hours before they smooth out. But I do believe they definitely do something special. Okay, so are they worth $500 in my system? I would say yes. But remember, I do have a power conditioner that I'm going to be representing really soon, and that will completely just negate the effects of any FureTech device. You're not going to need to buy a special outlet. Todd, my man, appreciate it. Thank you for the donation, Todd. Much appreciated, Todd. Thank you, man. Thank you, Todd. Much appreciated, my man. Really, really appreciate your donation here to the channel. Yannick, much appreciated. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all the donations. Thank you for the collaboration that you guys are doing. Really, really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Let me see. Anybody wants to know? Okay, so Adam, you want to know any update on the brand that I'm going to represent? Yes, guys. So that brand, by the way, that I'm going to be revealing soon is in my room as of has been here since maybe February. I've had it this year. So 4 months I've been playing with it. Okay. So I am completely 100% behind it because I believe in what it does. Now, I'm not going to tell you it's on the cheap side. Okay. The entry level device starts at $15,000, just so you know. Okay. The entry level power conditioner begins at $15,000 USD. Okay, so that's the beginning one, and they can get up all the way up to north of $50,000. But I'm going to tell you something. With this device, when you use it properly, you are just never going to have to worry about your outlets. You're not going to have to worry about, you know what, I live in an apartment building. I share a lot of outlets with different neighbors. They turn on the microwave. My music sounds like crap at night. You're going to have no concerns going forward, okay, when it comes to power. I promise you this. Just sit tight. It's coming. You will be very happy to know that this device has completely transformed the way I hear music, completely blown me away, and it still does every single day. So I'm not going to put my name behind anything that I feel blows. If my name is on it, and when my website goes live, okay, my website will have a section that will be called Brands I Represent, okay? And it's not going to be 30 brands. It's not going to be 20 brands. It's going to be a handful of brands. That's it. I'm not going to have 100 of them. It's going to be a handful of brands. And why is that? Because I don't see myself buying anything else from any other brand that does the same job as these brands that I'm representing. For instance, Artesania audio stands. I don't want any other stand. I am not interested in any other stand that is not an Artesania stand. This is why I became a dealer for the brand, because I believe in it. So if I believe in it this bad, why not represent it? So favorite subwoofer, favorite, okay, speaker, $15,000 speaker that I prefer. I would say 15K and below. You know what? The Audio Vector speaker, I don't remember the model that I heard at the show, was pretty phenomenal. I also heard a Paega, a speaker that was about 15K. I think it was 15, 16K. I think those two speakers were very impressive. Very, very impressive. Okay. So do not disregard that speaker. That speaker is very impressive. Very impressive. Someone wants to know if the Arius Surratt is on my radar. To be honest with you, it is not on my radar, guys. The Arius Surratt is not something that I can see myself with, if I'm being honest. I'm not talking bad about the brand. I just don't think for what I do, you know, it is going to do what I need it to do for what I do. Does that make sense? It doesn't fit in what I got going on in here. That's simple. That's all I'm going to say. Someone, okay, you want to know if my REL Predator subs are my 2-channel rig. If I use them on my 2-channel rig, the subwoofers here, guys, that you see here, I do not use them on my 2-channel rig. My Focal Maestros do plenty for me. Okay, plenty. Okay, Focal Maestros are phenomenal. Okay, very much so. You don't have to. I don't need to add subs to that speaker. That speaker is just amazing in its own right. Let's hit that thumbs up, guys. Get that like button up. Click that like button so we can get more people to join us. Get this conversation flowing with a lot more people involved. Again, thank you for joining me this afternoon. It is just a pleasure to talk to you guys as always. Thank you, guys. What I was going to say is, okay, so I know a lot of you guys are very skeptical about the entire conversation when it comes to switchers, when it comes to cables, and there is a lot to be said. Hold on. Let me show you something. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to bring you something real quick. All right, I'm going to bring you something. Give me a minute. All right, back. Check this out. This is a great thing, okay? You guys want to know about this. Look at this, okay? Standard Ethernet cable. This is a $3,000 Ethernet cable. See that? I don't know if you guys can see it. Okay. Standard, cheap Ethernet cable, expensive, like a $3,000 Ethernet cable. Okay. Do you think we will hear a difference in the lab? I know you guys are going to be skeptical about this, and I know you guys are going to be like, nah, there's no difference. That's all BS. All I'm going to say to you is you need to really stay tuned, because I'm going to take great videos of the comparisons between both Ethernet cables. For the first time, because of the fact that I have such a highly resolving system, you're going to be able to understand if really this Ethernet beats this right here. I want you guys to see it. Okay, that's what we're going to do this. We're going to do this soon. I want you guys to hear a $3,000 Ethernet cable against a cheap Ethernet cable. Will we hear a difference? Let's wait and find out. This is why, by the way, this is why I do the channel, just so you guys know. I just ask you guys to not get upset at me. Okay, don't get upset at me when I do this. I'm doing it for you guys. So when I bring something like the QNet, or I bring some whatever, snake oil, whatever you guys want to call it, I want you guys to be excited about that, because you don't really see that in any, on any YouTube channel. So when you see that a system like what I have behind me, and I'm bringing you guys some of the craziest tweaks or routers or switchers or cables, don't like feel mad at me for doing that. I'm just coming to try things, let you guys hear it, and for you guys to decide. You guys should be just excited. Now, I know some of you guys don't believe in network switchers. I get that. But what I'm saying is, maybe your mentality, your mind frame should be, you know what? I do not believe in that. No way it's going to make a difference. But I'll wait for Jay to do the shootout. Let us hear. I'm going to wear my headphones and see if I can pick up any differences. That's what you guys should be thinking about. Don't be mad at me. I'm just a messenger. I'm just the guy buying things for you guys to hear. Okay. So when I bring these crazy things to you guys, just be happy that I'm trying to show you something that many other channels never get around to. Okay. I'm just a messenger, guys. I'm just excited like a little kid. And I want to bring you a new toy so that you guys can play and at least hear it. That's all I'm trying to do. Okay. So don't be upset with me. Don't be angry at me because I'm spending money on crazy things like the QNet switcher with the power supply. I just want you guys to also be thrilled to know that maybe there's no difference and you're going to hear it through my channel. Or maybe there is. And then you can just go like, wow, there was a difference. I didn't think I was going to hear one, but there is definitely a difference. So just give me that support. Remember, I'm bringing you guys things that are normally not seen, okay? And I'm trying to switch things up all the time. I'm going to say it again. If you guys are interested in donating to the channel, hit that $sign underneath the chat. When you hit that $sign, you can send a donation, which will go to future giveaways, okay? Things that I will be buying to give back to you all. I really appreciate all the collaboration from those of you who have already donated. Plus, when you donate, your question will be highlighted on the chat, and I will be making a huge effort to answer it, okay? So anything that you guys can do and donate, much appreciated. How do I feel about Focal Maestros versus Stella? So I feel like the Focal Stella is a huge speaker, guys. It's a massive speaker. The Stella it's a phenomenal speaker, But in my room, which is approximately 18 and a half wide by 20 to 21 deep, I just felt like the Stella was just too big and it couldn't spread. It couldn't do this. Its wings. It couldn't flap its wings. It was just completely like stuck inside a cell, unable to fly away, if that makes sense. The Maestro, to me, although it is a much more difficult speaker to drive, it's just a lot more room friendly in terms of the space needed. I think that the Maestro or even the Scala could be speakers that many of you guys would be absolutely happy with. To me, the Stella is a speaker for a big room with tall ceilings, a lot of width, where you have space around the speaker. If you have a big room, I would recommend the Stella. I think medium-sized room to probably even medium to large rooms, the Maestro is just more than enough in most environments. Okay, more than enough. Yeah, exactly. So, what do I think about computer-based streaming, guys? If you're doing computer-based streaming, okay, and you're liking, let's say, you're doing, I don't know, a MacBook Pro, and you're streaming like that because your funds, your budget is not there. You can't buy a crazy streamer. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, absolutely nothing wrong with that. If that's your limitation, it is what it is. That's your limitation. All I can say is if you can at least, use some sort of quality cables to make that connection from your computer to your DAC or whatever it is that you're doing, at least buy a decent USB cable, do that. Just at least do that. Just at least buy a quality USB cable. There's nothing wrong with using a computer. Now, if you're a reviewer, okay, if you are a reviewer of audio components, and you're using a computer to review $100,000 monos, $50,000 preamplifiers, yes, I got a problem with that. There is no room for a computer in that level of on that system. A system of that caliber should not see a computer anywhere near it. Okay, unless you're just streaming through the network, which I can do with my MSB, right? Then that's different. But I'm saying I don't want to see a laptop with a USB cable going into a DAC, and then your speakers are 100 grand, and your amps are 100 grand, and your preamps are 100 grand. To me, that is a terrible setup. Absolutely horrible. No one should be doing that when you're spending that kind of money in your system. Boulder 1161. I have not owned the Boulder 1161. I hear great things about it. I know a couple of my clients through my consultation service that bought it, and it was everything I said I thought it would be. Actually, everything I articulated, they got. So far, Boulder has been phenomenal. Everything that Boulder's making today, the new breed of Boulder, the new generation of components, the 1160, the 1161, the 2110, the 1110, the 3000 series, to me is phenomenal gear, guys. Phenomenal gear. The Boulder gear of today is absolutely insane. I can't recommend it enough. And I'm not a dealer for any of it. I don't sell Boulder. I don't have access to Boulder. I can't call Boulder and request a dealer discount to sell to you guys. Boulder would not allow it. Boulder wants dealers with brick and mortar locations, neither of which I have. So I am just saying it. I love it. I love Griffin too. You guys have known me to love Griffin amplification. I don't represent Griffin. They don't send me a paycheck. I've said it before, but I like what they do, and I'm not going to deny that. Okay. So my MO, by the way, going forward, as I mentioned to you, I'm going to be representing some brands, but that does not mean I am not going to be 100% cheering for those brands that are absolutely astonishing. Okay. I am not going to be biased just because I represent this Samsung phone and I'm going to say all Apple product sucks because I don't represent it. That's not how I roll. If the product works and is phenomenal, I am going to say exactly that. Even if I'm not making a dime from owning it, even if I'm not representing it or selling it to you guys, I don't care. If it's a strong, solid product, you're gonna get that from me. Okay, I'm not going to be biased just because I don't represent a brand. That is not how I'm going to do things. You got my word on that. I have never heard Focal Aria 926. Yeah, so I did visit the VAC Von Stryker room at Expona. Guys, the problem with that room, and I think one of the reviewers, by the way, told me I should have brought my flash drive with some files. And I think I failed to do that. And I think I need to start doing that. I need to start bringing my flash drive with some DSD files to hear these systems that do not have streaming, okay? In case you guys did not know, they were charging $750 a day for Ethernet, for just network connections, for just internet. And this is just obscene for 3-4 days. That's like $3,000. So it's like a third of the cost of the room. So I understand why some rooms did not have any sort of streaming involved. I get that. I totally get it. Okay. But I unfortunately could not review the Von Stryker room because I just always found it slow sounding, unengaging, lethargic. Again, not my cup of tea in terms of the music that we're playing. I want to hear something with more dynamics, something more like upbeat. Give me some of the songs that you guys typically hear on my channel. Give me Death Row by Chris Stapleton. How about that? Death Row. Why not play that song that has a lot of impact and punch? I want to hear that song in that Von Stryker room with the VAC system. Why not hear that? Let me hear that. Right? That's the type of stuff I want to hear. I'm not asking for Metallica. I'm not asking for AC/DC, but I'm asking for songs that have impact, that have a mood, that I'm not there doing this. Like this. Every time I went into those rooms, it was like this. The whole time. And I can't. I gotta go. Okay, so I need a room that has music that gets me going, that gets me involved. And again, I'm not saying let's play Pitbull, or I'm not saying let's play crazy music. There are many good songs out there that we all know by now that you have seen on my playlist. So, have I ever tested cheap DACs? Yes, guys, I have tested cheap DACs. I will say that it depends on the system that you have. I mean, really, I can't recommend you a $130,000 DAC when your system is 30 grand in its totality. I can't do that to you guys. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so you got to look at the whole price point of your system. So if your system is, let's say, as an example, 100 grand, I'm not going to tell you get a $3,000 DAC because that's stupid. That is way too little. You need something of at least 10 to 15K, for example. You need at least a DCS bar talk, which is like 16K at the very least, if your entire system is 100 grand. Okay, so it's kind of proportionate to what you've spent on the whole system, but I'm not going to say that a cheap DAC does not have any place in your system. If your system is affordable, absolutely, by all means, please go for it. Because if you bought an expensive DAC, your system may not be revealing enough to let you hear what you paid for to begin with. So, do you want a real advice from me right now? Do yourself a favor. Again, do not spend money on tweaks when your system isn't where it needs to be. If you're slinging $750 amplifiers from the 90s, do not go out there and buy a $10,000, for instance, or a $20,000 DAC. Get rid of your amplifier, get a better amplifier, and buy a more affordable DAC. If you are being told by any dealer to spend $4,000 on footers and your speakers are 10 grand, do not make that mistake. That is a stupid mistake, okay? You do not buy $2,000, $3,000 footers when your speakers MSRP is 10 grand. It's a stupid mistake. Grab the 2 to 3 grand and maybe sell the speakers, put that money together and buy the next model up. something better. Okay, so don't get caught in the entire snake oil or suggestions of the industry where they're trying to send you to your bank to spend money so you can spend money on tweaks when your entire system isn't even there yet, where you could be spending a little more money on a better preamplifier, a better source, a better speaker. Forget footers until your speakers deserve footers, until your entire system behind is solid. Then begin to do footers, isolation devices underneath the components. Okay, stay away from all these BS tweaks. Okay, work on your big components first. What do I mean by big components? Amp, preamp, DAC, speakers, those four things, or vinyl. Okay, phono stage or turntable. Those big components are the most important components. Then you can get creative and do the QNet switch, and you can be cables, of course. Let's not forget cables. Then you can do the QNet switch, and then you can do an isolation or an external power supply for the QNet switch, or you can do I don't know, footers for under the amplifiers, or isolation devices, or fuses. That's at the end of the road. Don't do it in the beginning. Don't get caught spending money on the dumb, stupid tweaks that are out there when the rest of your system isn't even there yet. Okay? Don't do that. It's the best advice that I have for you guys. Okay, guys, if you're interested in donating, hit that $sign underneath the chat. You can see it right now. Click on it. Make a donation to support the channel. Your question will be highlighted to me, and I'll be able to answer your question in full detail. And hopefully you guys continue to give me the support, because it is much appreciated by me. I'm here on a Saturday afternoon trying to have a great, healthy discussion with you all. So thank you for being here with me. Focal, Scala, Utopia, Evo, phenomenal speakers, which I am going to answer this here on this Saturday afternoon. Okay, guys, I'm going to answer it right now. I found out what happened to the woofer. Okay, I found out why that woofer wasn't operating correctly. Okay, let me show you. Okay. Okay. You guys want to know what happened here? Okay. You guys want to know what took place? Why this thing wasn't working correctly? Are you interested in knowing right now? All right, let me answer it right now. You know what happened to this? Is the bad woofer, by the way. This is the woofer that was bad. Look at the size of this magnet. Okay, this is the bad woofer. Okay, let me tell you what happened. You guys are going to know now why I had a failure with that woofer, but I'm not afraid to tell you. Do you remember when I came out and said that I had a problem with the Boulder 3060? Do you guys remember that I said I sent it back to Boulder and they turned it around rather quick and they charged me absolutely nothing? Okay. You guys remember that conversation? That I had been vocal about the fact that I had an issue with the Boulder. It's not an issue that you could hear. No. It's the fact that the woofers of the speaker were literally, with no music playing, just the amplifier on, one channel, the woofers would do this, like this, move in and out slightly. But you had to get really close to see it. And there was no buzzing, there was no humming sound, there was absolutely nothing like that. So when Boulder fixed the amplifier, okay, if you guys want to know, they fixed it. They told me that the issue was that the DC servo control, the control unit of the amplifier, had a problem. It was actually not within the specifications. So that was causing the woofer to oscillate, move in and out by itself. So that is the reason. I think that's why the woofer took a hit, because I was playing the amplifier. Again, it was working fine, the amp. I was playing, and the woofer was moving in and out, and that's what caused the damage to this woofer. So it wasn't really me cranking it up. That was the actual Boulder amplifier that had a slight issue with it's called the DC servo control or something like that. So now you know, it wasn't Jay blasting it. It wasn't Jay abusing it. It was the fact that the amplifier was releasing some DC into the speaker, and it finally caught one of the woofers, and it was enough to essentially make it handicapped, for lack of a better word. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Smoke Screen. Much appreciated for the donation. I really, really appreciate that. Let me see what Joe wants to ask. Have I spent more time with Clara speaker cables? Any additional thoughts? Yeah, absolutely, Joe. I really, really liked the Claris cables. I mean, there was absolutely nothing wrong, nothing bad to say about it. I actually really love the Claris Crimson speaker cables with the Boulder 3060. I thought it still retained the resolution of the Boulder. It gave it a nice organic warmth to it. It's not a very hyper detailed cable. So if you're looking for a very extended cable in the upper registers, I don't think Claris Crimson will be the cable. What I do believe it will do for you is it will certainly, I think it will give you a lot of the nice qualities of the more expensive cables that exist today. You will get to hear a lot of the sonic attributes, of course, not to the extreme, right, of the big heavy hitters, but I think you get a lot for your money when it comes to the performance of the cable of the Crimson Claris cables. Absolutely recommended. I can't say anything bad about it. Thank you, Smoky Screen. I appreciate you guys donating for the channel, donating to the channel. Much appreciated. Any help you guys can give is always, always welcome. Thank you so much. Let me see what other questions do you have. I have never spoken to anybody from Audio Science, Smoky Smoke. What is my opinion? Never spoken to anybody, unfortunately, Smoke. Nothing. Never had a chance to talk to them. They have never reached out to me or anything like that. I wanted to make something clear right now. Okay, guys, let me make something clear right now. In case you guys are wondering, I want to say this. Everything you see here in my channel, number one, I bought with my money. Number two, everything you see here are things that I've wanted to buy because I was interested in them. I had a curiosity. The audiophile in me made me buy them for me to try, review, and then share my findings with you all. Anything else that comes my way, okay, that someone comes knocking on my door and tells me, we have a great product, Jay, take a look at it. Are you interested in reviewing? Let me just say to you, I will make sure that I say they came to me, they wanted me to look at it, they wanted me to evaluate it, and I made the decision to put it on the channel because I think it's a great product and you guys should know about it. Some brands have already come to me behind closed doors. They have already reached out to me. There is an agreement behind the scenes. I want to be clear with you guys. I don't want to lie. I don't want to be a liar here. There is always an agreement. If a brand that I have never heard from, that I've never been interested in, comes to me and they want me to put a product at they want me to put their product on the channel. The only way a product makes it to my channel, guys, I want you to know, it is only when I believe in it and I like what I heard. There are many products that have been here that I have never put in front of you guys because I simply thought they were lackluster and they needed to get back to the drawing board. I want to make sure you guys know this, okay? When a product arrives and I hear it for about a month and a half, and I don't like it, it's not going to be on the channel. I don't want to lie, okay? So anything else, either I wanted it for my system, in the case of everything you see here, or they sent it to me, which I will say it. I will be very open. I will say this company approached me. They wanted me to evaluate this product. Here I am to talk to you about it. That means I sat with it for about 30 to 45 days. I have listened to it extensively, and I made the decision to share that with you all because I like what I heard. So I want you guys to get that clear. Thank you, Yannick. I appreciate your collaboration. I appreciate your donation, Anthony, as well. Man, much appreciated, guys. Thank you for the support. Thank you for donating to the channel. I will answer all your questions. I see yours, Yannick. Can you explain to us a little bit about the difference you heard going from an affordable DAC to the most expensive, and if there are big steps in prices? Okay, Yannick, the difference when it comes to going from an affordable DAC all the way to the top, all the way to the extreme, there's a huge difference. Guys, I can't stress it enough. There is a massive difference between an affordable DAC and an expensive DAC. And a expensive DAC, let me make sure I say that clearly. Huge difference. However, that difference could be mitigated by your system. If your system sucks, if you don't have the rest of your system up to par, I don't see any sort of logic by going from an affordable DAC to an expensive DAC. Do not do that. Do not go out there, buy an MSB Select 2, and your system is equivalent to $50,000 total or $60,000 total for everything. Do not do that. You got to have the rest of the system up here if you're going to buy a DAC that's up here. If your system is here in performance, do not buy a DAC that's here. You're better off using this money and improving things here. Does that make sense? So the reality is that you have to be mindful of what you already have in place. You don't go out there and buy the most expensive shoes you can afford if the rest of your tuxedo is ugly, right? You can't. It doesn't seem right. It's going to completely defeat the purpose of buying expensive shoes. Best way I can put it. So someone is saying there is a lot of snake oil in the industry when it comes to cables. Guys, there is absolutely snake oil in any industry. Any industry has a snake oil. Okay. What I can tell you is there are only a handful of brands, cable brands, that I recommend. Okay. That I trust in. I do not get paid to tell you this. Again, I want to make sure I say this to you guys. I don't get paid to tell you this. Only a handful of cable brands that I honestly believe in. Now, I have not tried every cable out there, so I'm sure there's going to be some of them that are not going to be mentioned right now, but I'm going to go over the ones that I like, that I think are worth, I'm not going to say their asking price, but I think are going to provide a positive improvement on your system. And I'm going to mention them in no particular order. Nordos, Shunyata, Transparent, Claris cables. Let me think about this. What other brands? They're escaping me because I've always been doing the same cables for a while. At a high level, I think that's it. Nordos, Shunyata, Transparent cables, Claris cables. Yeah, I don't think there's many more that I can think of. Now that I'm in my head, I'm thinking off the top of my head, there's not many more brands. So those are the brands that I can tell you guys can buy, and I know it's going to provide. AudioQuest as well. I'm sorry, AudioQuest is another one. 5 brands. Those brands you guys can buy and just figure out which tonality you like best. Okay, which type of sound do you prefer? Those 5 brands, if you try any of those 5 brands, I can promise you they're going to improve the performance of your system. Now, remember, this is on a system by system basis. So if AudioQuest works for me, it may not work for you. It might be too bright. So go to Shunyata, go to Nordos, go to Transparent, and figure out which cable brings the performance that you are seeking. Okay. But at a high level, those are the 5 brands that I can say you can try. I mean, and I know they have a positive impact in the performance of your system. Hit that thumbs up, like guys. Hit that like button. Claudio Espinosa. Thank you, Claudio. I appreciate it 100%. Please, thank you. Thank you for the donation. Thank you for the collaboration here. Much love and appreciation to you. Synergistic Research is another great keyboard brand. I'm sorry. Synergistic Research is another. I liked it. I liked Synergistic Research in my lab. So yes, it escaped me. Like I said, yeah, synergistic research will be number 6 without a doubt. A room 11 by 13 would be okay for a Sabrina X. I don't think that's a room that's too small. I've seen it in that room. 11 by 13 would work for a Sabrina X, no problem. I think it should be no problem. What is the gear you have tried missing that keeps you looking for new gear? Related, what would it take for you to hear from gear to be done? Let me see. What is the gear you have tried missing that keeps you looking? Keith, I don't really get your question. I'm looking at it. Can you answer the question from the guy that asked about DACs? You didn't answer the question. You said there are huge differences. You asked it, what are the, well, I mentioned it already, Justin. The differences in DAC and price points. I mean, Justin, there is a huge difference. I mean, there's going to be more of a fullness to the presentation, a bigger sound stage, more scale from the bigger DACs, the more expensive DACs, because they have just simply far more just a bigger power supply, more isolation, more chassis. Oftentimes they're just overbuilt. And so that translates into more of a organic feeling, less digital, this digital feeling. I feel like the MSP DAC, when I got it, guys, my system went from being very digital sounding to far more of a analog feeling. It was much more engaging, much more musical. I had mentioned this to MSB, by the way. I had a conversation with MSB as far as the attributes of the Select 2. And to be honest with you, I don't think the Select 2 sounds like the rest of the MSB lineup. I find it closer to the analog sources than digital. The first thing I would address if my system is bright, number one, I would say if my system is bright, first thing I would address are the reflection points of the room. Finding some sort of either absorption or diffraction, whatever it is for acoustic panels. Find acoustic panels to treat the first reflection point. That's what I would first do. If that doesn't work and you're still getting brightness, then look at your room overall. Do you have a carpet? Is it treated? Do you have enough treatment in the room? If you feel you do, step number 2, I would say, is cables. Unfortunately, yes, I've said it. Cables are, in my opinion, tuning devices. If you want a little warmer sound, take a look at cables like Chords. Take a look at cables like Crimson cables. If you want a lot more high frequency extension, go for Nordos and go for Shunyata. Those are the cable lines. So depending on what you're trying to accomplish, I would say look at the different options available to you. Okay, but first the room, and then start working with cables. And even and if at the end you simply can't get rid of the brightness, I have a feeling that, in my opinion, you have a mismatch. You have an amplifier that should never be with the speaker that you have. For instance, a bright amplifier. I don't know off the top of my head right now what amplifier sounds bright. But if you have a bright sounding amplifier with a bright speaker, that's never going to work, regardless of the cables that you use. The Borison 03 speakers, I didn't like them. I prefer the Borison bookshelf speakers. I thought the bookshelves were phenomenal, okay? Borison 01s are phenomenal speakers. Listen, I want to try them, be honest with you. I want to try the Borison 01s, the bookshelves. I really do, but I haven't been able to put that together with the team in Denmark. So no, so Keith, it's not Keith. So it's a good question. What you have here, what is it that I'm not hearing from my system that makes me keep trying gear? Let me just say this: I will continue to try gear because that's what the channel is about. The channel is going to be a never-ending journey. It will never stop. I will keep trying new gear constantly, every year, every day, every month. I will continue to buy new gear. So I will never have a system forever, okay? Because if I do that, then at that point, I can simply close the channel and call it a day, right? So what makes me keep looking for gear is my quest for learning more about the new offerings that are available to us today, tomorrow, a month from now, a year from now. Okay, so it's got nothing to do, Keith, with me not being happy with my system, but more with the fact that I am just hungry to learn about new offerings. Never heard of those speakers. Okay, never heard of those speakers. Guys, hit that like button, get those thumbs up, get more people to. We have 128 people right now. I'm very excited. This is a lot of people. Keep hitting that like button so we can call more people. Jeremy, thank you. Thank you for the donation, Jeremy. Much appreciated, Jeremy, for your donation. Would I try Supra cables? Jeremy, I never heard of them, to be honest with you. I First time I hear about Supra cables. Maybe I need to look into them. Never heard of them, my friend. So if they're good, maybe after this call I can begin to look at their website. If you've heard them, then I would love to read your thoughts about the cables. I have heard legacy speakers. I have my opinions about them. I think they're just very big speakers. I'm not going to say they sound bad. I don't know. It's hard for me to formulate an opinion on that speaker. I'm not a fan of the look, and I think they're just very big. Hey, buddy. How are you, buddy? Good to see you here. Kimber cables. I heard Kimber cables very briefly, guys. I wasn't too impressed with Kimber cables, but I'm not saying that they don't work, that they don't have any positive improvements. All I can say is I wasn't very surprised with what I heard. I have heard Legacy Audio. I just was not impressed with them, but it could be the show. It could be what I heard at the show. Siltic cables is a cable that I'm definitely interested in trying. I keep hearing about Siltic cables. Never heard him, but I think it's getting closer and closer, and I should begin to explore Siltic cables. Sonos Faber speakers. Sonos Fabers, guys. Sonos Faber AIDA 2, to be specific, is a speaker that I'm interested in. Smoke Screen. Thank you, man. I appreciate Smoke Screen. Thank you for the donation one more time. Thank you guys for the donations. Thank you for contributing to the channel. Much appreciated. I'm going to answer all these questions from those who are donating, and I'll make a huge effort to make sure that you guys, that I'm actually answering the questions as best as possible. Smokey, you want to know what's your view on older ARC amps? Look, Smoke, the reality is I don't like the old ARC amps or current ARC amps. I just feel that there are better brands out there when it comes to amplifiers. Now, this is my opinion, and I want to make sure I say that. I think ARC is just good at preamplification. When it comes to amplifiers, I think you can find other brands like VTL, VAC. You can find many other tube amplifiers that, in my opinion, are just better than Audio Research. I've never been impressed with an Audio Research amplifier. And as a matter of fact, at the last show, at the Exponent show, that was one of the reasons why the Alex V did not really surprise me. It didn't do anything for me. They were using what I consider one of the worst amplifiers, being the Ref 160Ms. Just think they're terrible amplifiers. My opinion. I'm entitled to it. What is my opinion of the Chord Dave? Chord Dave was a good DAC when I had it. Great, amazing as a preamplifier. It's a little bit on the bright side, to be honest with you. But I think if the system is a little warm, I can see how the Chord Dave can help with some sparkle in the upper registers. I have never tried, David. Why Ceylon amplifiers? No, never tried it. Thank you, Christopher. Much appreciated. Thank you for the contribution. Thank you for the donations, guys. Much appreciated. Thank you for all this support that you guys are giving me. I do it because of you guys. I do this because of you all, because you guys like to see what I do. So I will continue to do this as long as you guys are there to support me and to be behind me. Thank you, David. One more time. Thank you. So let me see. The AVM monos. I never heard AVM, unfortunately, guys. Never heard AVM. Never heard the brand myself. Couldn't comment on it. Yeah, I'm willing to give anybody feedback on any product. I had mentioned earlier today, for those of you who just joined, okay, if you there is a dollar sign underneath the chat that allows you to collaborate, to make a donation to the channel. Okay, it's much appreciated. And in addition to that, it allows you to type a question, which will be highlighted on the chat, and it will make it easy for me to make sure that I answer your question. Okay, if you're interested in donating, please by all means hit that dollar sign underneath and help out. Stealth cables. I have never tried stealth cables, but I've wanted to try stealth cables. TAD or TAD speakers. I heard them briefly, guys. I keep hearing a lot about TAD or TAD speakers. And to be sincere, I haven't been impressed by them. Now, I'm not going to say they're not any good. I just haven't had it in my possession, and I haven't heard them in an environment in which I can say, you know what, I spend quality time with the speakers, and I can tell you exactly what they sound like. I just feel like at the show, I haven't been in a very intimate environment with the speakers. There was always a lot of people talking behind me. There was a lot going on, people in front of me. I just never really got to vibe with the TAD, with any TAD speakers. Okay. So for now, I don't really have any opinion about TAD speakers. Paul, my plan is to go to Munich. Munich, Germany will happen for me next year. Not this year, but I think next year I'm definitely going to be going to Munich. Absolutely. Johnson, do separates always sound better than an integrated? Look, let me tell you a situation in which an integrated will sound better than separates. If your separates are $1,000 MSRP for the amp and $1,000 for the preamp, and the integrated is $35,000, the integrated is going to stump all over those two separates. Okay? Now, if you're talking about the integrated and the separates, the version that are separates of this integrated, yes, the separates will be better than the integrated. Yes. Hello. Hey, everybody. Hit that thumbs up. Get more people to join us. We are at 147 people. Thank you for being with me today. Much appreciated. The bookshelves that to me, the bookshelves that I heard at a show that impressed me the most, believe it or not, were the ultra expensive Borison 01s and the extremely cheap Polk Audio, the Polk Audio 200s, I think it is the model, R200 or something like that. That was a pretty good speaker. The Polk Audio R200, that was a great speaker for $749. Man, that's a phenomenal speaker, man. If you guys are trying to put together a system somewhere, or a system for your, I don't know, your girlfriend or your brother or your aunt or whoever, and you want to give her a nice gift and make it under $2,500, that Denon receiver integrated with those Polk Audio speakers, that sounded pretty good, I got to tell you. So that would be a nice gift for anyone. Nice gift for anyone, even for you guys in your office. If you don't want to break the bank, get those Polk Audio speakers with that Denon integrated and take it to your office. And I'm telling you, you'll be very surprised how good it sounds. So what else? Let me see. If you guys are wondering, let me talk a little bit about what I have coming up. What I'm going to be working on is right now, I'm going to release that second interview with that gentleman that was here. He's a subscriber, and we're going to be talking about Boulder and how Boulder compares to Constellation. Okay, so that video will go live soon. In addition to that, I am working on the final touches of my website, which will go live soon, and you guys will be able to see my journey. You guys will be able to see different my classified section, where you'll be able to buy a lot of the gear that I have decided to sell. And by the way, Since I have 140 of you right now, guess what? I don't know if I'll do it, but I will be displaying a $50,000 turntable. Okay? You heard it. $50,000 Kronos turntable. I don't even know the model number. All I know it's 50 to 55K from Kronos. So a $50,000 Kronos turntable will be in my room. Now, I don't know how to connect it. I don't know if I'll even play it, but I wanted to tell you guys, I will be putting a video of a turntable in my room that I may never get to hear because, guys, I don't have the time, the bandwidth to get all technical and spend half a day setting this thing up, because the word on the street is Kronos turntables take hours to set up, and I don't have any vinyl, and I don't have a phono stage, so I have no way of playing the turntable. But you will get to see a very pretty turntable in my lab in the near future. Okay, so those of you who have been asking me about turntables, you'll get to see one, a really nice one, but it will probably not play because I don't have the phono stage, I don't have the shelf for it, I don't have a lot of the pieces that are needed to accommodate a turntable in my room. Good question. What is the more important for the overall musical experience? Is it the overall soundstage size or the precise imaging? Thank you, Cabal Audio. Thank you so much for the donation. Much appreciated for the donation. Thank you to those of you who are donating right now. Um, much love to you guys. Much appreciated. It means a lot to me that you guys are donating and spending time this Saturday afternoon or evening, depending on which part of the world you're in. Thank you for joining me here in the conversation. Let me answer your question, Cabal Audio. Have I ever heard Rockport Lyra's speaker? I have never heard it. I never heard Rockport Lyra's is not something that I have heard. I know of someone who has them. As a matter of fact, the gentleman who sold me the Mephisto solos and the VAC monos still has Lyra's, and he swears by them. The reports are very positive about it. Very positive about it, guys. They say the Lyra's are incredible. Some say even better than the Magical M6. I can't give you any more comments, but the word in the street is, and my trusted sources are telling me, Rockport Lyra's are absolutely mind-blowing. Thank you so much, Henrik. Much appreciated for the donation. Really, really thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Let me see what question you got, Henrik. Passlab 60.8 enough for Wilson Audio Sabrina? Look, Henrik, my opinion here with the question, okay? I don't think the 60.8 is the right amplifier for the Sabrina. I prefer Class AB, believe it or not, with Wilson Audio speakers. A recommendation for you will be probably like a Constellation Taurus stereo amplifier. Henrik, take a look at this one here. Constellation Taurus. If you can find it in where you're located, where you reside, Constellation to me is one of the best sounding brands with Wilson, okay? Also, maybe look at the Griffin Essence. Amazing, 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 Henrik. Love the Griffin Essence, okay? So you should take a look at the Griffin Essence when you have a moment. Constellation, amazing. 60.8s, I just think they don't have the power for a Wilson. Wilson are very power hungry speakers. Yes, even the Sabrina, even that little speaker needs a lot of power. Those are my two recommendations for that speaker. Thank you, Ian Brown. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for the donation. Much appreciated. Thank you again for the support. Let me answer your question. Do I have any opinion on EMM Labs or the brand? Ian, look, I have heard EMM Labs in private settings. I think they build quality product. I like their construction. I heard the monos that they had at the show with the Joseph Audio speakers back at Capital Audio Fest 2021. I was very impressed with the sound from those monos, and the entire rig was actually EMM Labs. They were using transparent cables, I believe. I loved it, Ian. I loved EMM Labs. Now, would I buy an EMM Lab over an MSB DAC or maybe a DCS DAC? If you want my humble opinion, my opinion only, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. EMM Labs, unfortunately, doesn't have the same recognition as the big players, as the MSBs, the esoterics of the world, the DCS of the world. It doesn't. I got to keep it real, okay? It doesn't. Takeo versus Wadax. What do I think about Takeo versus, well, Takeo builds a DAC and Wadax, Takeo builds a music server. Wadax builds a music server, but I have never heard the Wadax music server like in my room. I couldn't comment on that. It's very, very difficult for me to answer that question. All I can tell you is I love the Takeo music server. It's still here. Okay. I love the way Emil really supports their product. Okay. So I have nothing bad to say about Takeo. Really a well-built product. And again, Emil and his team are class acts when it comes to customer support. Amazing people to deal with. Okay, so someone is asking me a special electrical box or do I use a standard electrical wire? I use a 10 gauge wire behind my wall. 10 gauge wire. Mr. K, thank you for the donation. Much appreciated, Mr. K. Thank you so much, man. Much appreciated. Let me answer your question. You have Wilson Audio Max 3s with Parason 821s and P6 and Lumen U1 Mini. I'm looking to upgrade my equipment. What should I start with? I'm going to tell you something, Mr. K. Max 3s and Parason 821, I got to tell you that Parason needs to go. I will tell you right now, you need a better amplifier than that for the Max 3s. That speaker is a big speaker. And the 821 is like putting 87 octane in a Corvette. Like you can't put that level of amplification on a speaker that big with those woofers. You need amplification that can really control those woofers, that can really, really, really command and control and push that speaker to new levels. The 821 has never been known for great bass, even the Plus series. It's not an amplifier that will give you the control that speaker needs. Okay, I would look at a Griffin Essence. I would look at a Sim Audio 860 version 2, amazing for that speaker. But the 821, it's a good amp, but I think if you really want to make your speaker sing even better without touching anything else, look into a Griffin Essence, look into a Sim Audio 860 version 2. Chain Smoking, thank you so much, man. Thank you for the donation, my man. Much appreciated, man. Thank you again for the support. Let me answer your question, Chain Smoking. Any recommendations on amplifiers and preamps for Focal Sopra 2? Chain Smoking, I am going to say that if you want Focal Sopras to sound coherent, non-fatiguing, smooth, musical, you can go with the Name 5 series. I think the Name system, the middle 5 series, I think it sounds incredible. I think the Name is really meant to go with Focal, where it's just going to make the speaker much more polished and less edgy and less in your face. I think the fact that Name also uses their own cabling helps. And in my opinion, I think if you are able to grab the full 5 series Name components, the network player, the amp, and the preamp, you're done. You're done. Guarantee you the Sopra 2 will blow you away. But if you don't want to go with Name, I can tell you Boulder. Boulder works phenomenal with Focal. I should know. Okay. Boulder sounds phenomenal. The 1160, 1161, the same preamplifier, 1110. I think if you get those two, you're going to be in for a huge surprise. And I wouldn't be shocked if the 866 integrated sounds good. But I'm a guy that loves separates. So if you can swing it, maybe look into the affordable Boulder 1161 with the 1110 preamplifier. And I think you could be in for a huge surprise. Philip, thank you so much, my man, for the donation, man. Much appreciated, man. Thank you again. Thank you, man. I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you for all these donations. Thank you for the support to the channel. This is the first time I'm doing this, and I can't believe the amount of support that I'm having. I can't believe how many of you guys have collaborated and donated on this Saturday afternoon. It means the world to me. Today is the first time that I'm doing this, that I'm able, YouTube actually allows me to take some sort of a contribution from you guys, from my viewers. So I want to thank you guys who have come through for me. Okay. Really, really thank you from the bottom of my heart. Let me answer a couple of other questions. The importance of soundstage versus imaging. There are two different things, okay? Soundstage and imaging. I feel like you can have a great soundstage, but also be very unfocused. I feel like it may not be the soundstage that you might be in love with. It might be very omnidirectional, for lack of a better word, okay? So you can have a soundstage that is going to surround your head left and right and behind you, but nothing is really placed correctly. The imaging of the instrumentation, the speakers doing this beautiful act of just doing this, the instruments appearing here and then here. To me, imaging goes with soundstage. It's very difficult to have both. You may have a speaker that images well, but then the soundstage is too tiny, so it doesn't sound very good. I couldn't say that one is more important than the other. I would say they're just as important. It's like a rim goes with a tire, right? You can't use a rim by itself. It needs a tire. Same thing. I feel like soundstage to me needs to come with imaging. Else, it's not very good soundstage. Does that make sense? Okay, what else? Let me see. Does imaging require DSP to get really good? No, it doesn't really require DSP. Look, if you want great imaging, okay, and you're a sucker for great imaging, and you want to get it right out of the gate and buy a speaker that images really well, I'm going to tell you a speaker that images really well. Wilson Audio. It images amazing. You don't have to even try hard. You place the speakers in the room and Wilson Audio will image incredible. Like it's one of their biggest attributes besides dynamics. So if you're looking for imaging, Wilson Audio. If you want a panel, Martin Logan. It's going to image really well. Magnepans, they image really well. Panels are known to image incredibly well. Now, if you have a speaker that sounds diffused, then we may need to have another conversation that might go much deeper into what I'm able to share with you guys at this very moment. Okay, but speakers that tend to be extremely incredible when it comes to imaging are what I just mentioned to you. Okay, without you even trying, those speakers are going to image beautiful. I'm a sucker for imaging and soundstage. If the imaging is not there and the soundstage is missing, I don't even want to get near it. Do I drink when I'm listening to music? Here's the truth. If I am drinking and I have my whiskey, I can't listen critically, okay? Because I get very mellow and I can't get my hearing to really connect with the music in an analytical way. What happens is when I drink, I get to relax and not worry about the presentation. I'm trying to just fly away from the room, fly out of the room, and think about what I was doing at this particular moment when I first heard that song. So when I'm drinking, I am not the critical audiophile. When I'm drinking, I'm having fun in my room, playing records that you guys would probably never hear on the channel. So I'm more of like enjoying the moment. Okay. And I actually, to be honest with you, yes, I am almost forced to drink wine or whiskey so that I don't have to sit down and feel like I'm working in front of the speakers. Thank you. Okay, so Smokey, one more time. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. You have Focal Scala Utopia 3s, Lampin Cedar Golden Gate, ARC 6, old ARC V140 monos, and a custom server is $1,000. What used $10,000 budget? What next? I think your monos, to be honest with you, Smoke. Your monos need to be the replacement there, Smoke. If I'm being honest, the monos. I just don't think those monos, to me, are doing justice with those speakers. I would completely, I'm telling you, I would highly, highly suggest the name gear, the 5 series. The network player, the amp and the preamplifier with the power supplies, with that Scala Utopia could be phenomenal. That's what I would recommend to you. So I just think it would be better probably than the entire setup you have right now. Keep the speakers and looking to name the 5 series, the network, the amp, and the preamplifier. I think that Focal Scala Utopia 3 could be phenomenal with those electronics. In my opinion, probably better than what you have, okay? But it's my opinion. Phantom Ace, much appreciated. Thank you for the donation. Thank you, man. I appreciate the support, man. I appreciate you very much. Thank you, man. Much appreciated. Thank you for your comment, man. I hope everyone's reading what this man is saying to me. Really means a lot to me. Means the world to me. Really, really does. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all the support. I'm overwhelmed with the amount of support that you guys are giving me today. Thank you for all these donations, man. Just unbelievable. I have no words to thank you. So how does my system handle poorly recorded music? Man, let me tell you, man, my system handles poorly recorded music quite well, actually. I think the MSB DAC has to do with that. It's very musical. It's not analytical. MSB DACs, at least the Select two, it's not analytical at all. I also feel like if it's poorly recorded, one thing I do is I don't blast them. When they're badly recorded, songs, I just don't blast them. I don't get up real funny with the volume. I put them at a level where it's comfortable and I'm still able to enjoy them because the abrasiveness of the recording is not so loud in my face. So I try to control the volume level when I'm listening to bad recordings so that they're still bearable, right? Because I'm not cranking them up. That's what I do on my end. Thank you, Ron P. Thank you so much, man, for your comments. Thank you. I try to bring you guys some of the best gear in the world because I want to do something that nobody else is doing. Nobody else. And that is my intention each and every day to keep doing this for you guys, okay? So that you guys see some of this craziness that I have going on, okay? Crazy equipment because it makes me happy to impress you and shock you every time. It makes me so happy to just keep you guys guessing and just engaged, okay? Engaged. That's the word. Okay, so here's a an interesting comment that I have to make, and it doesn't have to do with any of the questions that you guys are asking me. Okay, one interesting comment feedback is this: when I was using more mid-fi, more affordable gear way back when, okay, the Luxmans of the world, Sim Audios of the world, that level of gear. The reality, guys, is I was having a lot more fun. This is something I've never said until today. I was having a lot more fun at that level than I do here. You want me to tell you why? Because when you get here, have you heard what Biggie Smalls says? More money, more problems. When you get here, you also have more problems. You know why? Because you almost have to be, the expectation of a system like this is that you know exactly what you're doing. So if you buy expensive electronics like what I have behind me, it is going to point at every little tiny thing that you are failing to do. And sometimes it gets on your nerves. You get too much brightness. Why am I getting brightness? Find out where the problem lies. Is it the cable? Is it the router? Is it the Ethernet? Is it my power? Is it the room? Do I have enough acoustic treatments? What's going on? Am I tired? Is it the LEDs over my expensive systems? Tend to be very finicky. They tend to really piss you off more often than affordable gear. Let me make sure you guys understand that. It is no different than when you buy a Ferrari, and I'm not a Ferrari owner, But when you buy one, things break. I hear they're very unreliable cars. They're at the shop all the time, just like Range Rovers. They're beautiful cars. There's always something, an electrical problem. There is something not working correctly. You're always spending time at the dealer getting it fixed. But you don't have these issues with Toyotas and Hondas, right? And you have fun. You put a muffler on the Honda and the Toyota, and you're driving 200,000 miles trouble-free. It's the same thing with audio, guys. When you get to this level, the fun is not as great as when you're playing at this level, okay? Could be also the lack of options. So remember, just because you go up the ladder doesn't mean you're having a lot more fun. I had a lot more fun when I had more affordable gear. I got to tell you the truth, okay? That is from the bottom of my heart. The first source that I used, chain smoking. Thank you, man. Chain smoking. Much appreciated, man. Thank you so much, guy. Thank you. Appreciate the collaboration. I appreciate the donation, okay? Thank you so much. Any dealers that I recommend for Boulder systems? Look, I have a dealer that I recommend. Feel free to email me, okay? You can send me an email directly. It's always in the descriptions of my videos, okay? Email me, and we can take it from there, okay? I have a couple of dealers that that I can connect you with, yes. Shoot me an email, all right? And we can take it offline. Have you thought about H gauge electrical wire? Okay, I haven't thought about 8 gauge electrical wire because I have a new product that I'm representing. Okay, I have a product that I'm representing that deals with power. I no longer, let me show you this. Look, this is how worried I am, or not worried I am about power. $500 outlets, unopened. FureTech, look, unopened, not even using them. $500 each, okay? And look, they're here. I don't need them. I don't need them anymore. Because you know why? The power conditioner that I'm representing has these built in. So you're not going to need this anymore. You're not going to have to worry about the wire behind your wall. You're not have to worry about any of that anymore. I'm going to help you guys get there. I'm not going to say it's cheap. I'm being honest. But you're never going to have to worry about calling an electrician to fix your issues. I promise you, when my product is released to you guys and I make the official announcement, believe me, I will do A and B comparisons in front of you guys. You guys will get to hear it, and you'll be very shocked with what you're going to hear. You guys try DACs system. So one of the things I want to be open about, guys, is I don't do any DIY, guys. I'm not a guy that is a tweaker like that. I'm not a guy who is going to, for instance, if I bring a music server that's $30,000, I'm not going to be the guy trying to figure out how can I build my own music server for $5. That's not what I do. That's not what I do, right? I am more of a system designer and not necessarily a person that's going to tweak everything and try to get maximum performance for nickels on the dollar or dimes on the dollar. I'm just not that person. I'm more of the person that tries everything available to us. I let the manufacturers do the work, and I handpick everything available to me so that I can build the best system synergy and then report back to you guys. That's what I do. Okay, so DIYs, I am not against you guys. I love you the same as everybody else who's here. I don't criticize you. If you love to do your thing, man, I wish I had that skill set like you guys. I wish I could do my thing too, so I didn't have to spend any money. But sometimes my lack of time completely prohibits me, hinders my ability to do my own thing, build my own products, okay? So I am left with just knowing how to mix and match components in the lab. Thank you, Dave. Thank you for the donation, Dave. Much appreciated, my man. Thank you so much for the donation. Really appreciate you, okay? Really do. Thank you for that support. Thank you so much for everyone who's donated today. I'm trying to answer all your questions as much as I can, okay, while still paying attention to everybody else. So everyone who's donated, guys, God, I mean, I can't thank you enough. Really means the world to me. And we're almost up to 11,000 subs. So I want to continue to do more of these sessions with you guys so you guys feel more in tune with me, okay? If I ever say anything that offends any of you, please, I am here to apologize from the get-go. Never mean to really hurt anybody's feelings. I'm just a man here on a mission trying to share with you some of the best electronics in the world today. That is it. And if you guys have something better, man, hit me up. Send me an email. I want to know what it is so that I can try it and forget about the one that I got. Okay, I'm keeping an open mind, and I love everybody in here the same. Every person that follows me and supports me, I love you all the same. I really do. The Luxman M10X, Luxman M10X will happen in the lab. I'm going to tell you, the Luxman M10X is, I am trying already to bring it here. So I think we're probably a month or two away from seeing a Luxman M10X on my channel. So stay tuned for that, okay? And by the way, I just sent the wire transfer last week for my new speaker, the new speaker that I talked about. That speaker should be at my door end of next week. When he gets here, we are going to see that speaker right there. We're going to see it against another speaker that MSRPs for the same money as this speaker from a very well-known brand. So stay tuned for that, okay? You guys are going to love that. That comparison is going to be amazing, amazing for a lot of you guys. I can't wait to bring that to you guys. You know what I want to, you know what I really would like to come up with? You guys want to know if I could build something, what it would be? You know what I would love to build? I would love to build some sort of platform to put the speakers on top of so that I can sit my ass on the chair and then with a remote control, literally make the speakers move back, do this, move out, come back, so that I can listen and literally dial them in without anybody having to move them or me having to get up off the couch, walk over to the speakers, move them, and sit back down. I would love to come up with a concept like that where, again, the speakers can sit on top of these platforms that I can remote control and make them move around the room. I would love that. One second, guys. Let me plug in the computer. One second. Okay. Where were we? Joe, I want to try Von Stryker. Listen, I would love to try him. I really would love to. But the reality, Joe, is they always keep playing the same type of music. And maybe it is my fault. Maybe I need to bring my flash drives. Maybe it's all on me. Maybe I haven't made enough of an effort to talk to them. You know, maybe I'll do that next time I am at a show. I just haven't connected with the music that they play. That's all. You know, and I can't go into a room listening to music that makes me fall asleep. I'm not criticizing it and saying that it's bad gear. No, but I need to hear it with things that have dynamics, impact. Again, Chris Stapleton as an example. Can we play something like that? Can they let me hear how deep that bass gets? Can I hear the sound stage? Can I really get connected with the music? And next time I go to a show, I'm going to try to talk to whoever is in charge of that room and tell them, sit with me, set up a time, tell me the time, close the doors behind me, let me be in front of the speakers in your gear. I got to hear it. I want nobody in the room, just me and the speakers and the person handling the electronics. That's it. Maybe that's what I need to do. Because to your point, yes, the vac room and the Von Stryker Room are always winning best of show everywhere. Well, I need to see what the hell this is about, because I can't rate anything best of show listening to elevator music, funeral music. I can't do that. And I'm not knocking the music, but to me, that's not music that I can gauge anything, that I can actually give my opinion on. This music is slow, guys. It's really slow, and it just doesn't do anything for me. Give me Leonard Cohen. You guys have heard that song in My Secret Life many times already on my channel, and at Exponat 2022. You guys heard that song over and over and over again throughout the entire time I was there, because I wanted you guys to hear the song with different systems. That's why I kept pressing them to play that song for me, and a lot of them accommodated me. So when I see the next time I see Vac and Von Stryker, I want to make sure they allow me, they facilitate that possibility to let me hear this type of music. I want to hear this type of music that I have heard in my lab many times before I can say, wow, this System X next is really the best I've heard. The new clipped speakers, I don't know. You know what? I really don't have any much to say about those speakers. The ones at Expona. I don't know if I kind of have like mixed opinions about that speaker, if I'm being honest with you. Okay, someone already asked me about the Air Surratt room at Expona. Guys, I heard the room. Look, the room was fine, but I mean, you guys are putting me on the spot, but I have to answer, okay? Because you guys are here with me and I owe that to you, okay? I thought the room was fine. It was cool looking stuff. It had a lot of great, like a different design. The speakers were just next level. The crossovers were external, things that you normally don't see. But I try to not allow for that to impress me. I was mainly impressed. I wanted to be impressed by the performance, and I don't think I was that impressed at the show. Want to be clear, maybe at the show, but if I live with it, it could be something different. Okay, but I was not blown away. Any other questions, guys, before we wrap things up? 801s. Okay, guys. So the 801 speaker that I was going to bring, in case you guys do not know, the speaker that I was going to originally bring happened to be the 801 D4 from B&W. You heard it. I'm announcing it here. Unfortunately, that transaction fell through, and I couldn't bring you guys the B&W 801 D4. Finally revealing that fact, okay? That's the speaker that I originally planned for, and unfortunately, it will not be a reality, at least for now. I am very sad. However, I did have a plan B, and plan B is what's coming in next week. So stay tuned for that. A very resolving speaker from a very well-known brand will make an appearance really soon. Oh, the best budget speakers I've ever heard happen to be the Polk Audios for $749. I mean, if that's not budget, then I really do not know what else is. That's budget. $749 for a pair of bookshelf speakers like those Polk Audios. That was incredible. I did not hear the Dan Agostino Relentless Equipment. I didn't even see it. Okay, so let me see. Block Audio. No, I really don't have anything to say about Block Audio right now. Not really anything else. Block Audio hasn't been, something that I have been very articulate about, that I haven't really expressed my opinions on, but I promise you, I will. You will know more about Block Audio. In case you need to know one thing about Block Audio is, I was the very first person in the whole country to own Block Audio. In case you guys are wondering, Jay, you're hearing it from me. I am the very first person in the entire United States to bring Bulk audio and own it. So if you're seeing a lot of things about bulk audio, let me tell you, that could be partially because of me. Johnson, of course, is having two systems a good idea. Absolutely. If you can have two systems, guys, please, by all means, do it. That means you don't have to be buying and selling stuff. When you get tired of one system, you shut it off and go to the other system and get used to the other system again. And then when you get used to the other system, you can rotate every weekend. You'll never get tired. Absolutely, by all means. Two systems is phenomenal. I technically have two systems. I have the Boulder gear, Boulder, and then the Constellation piece here, right? And then the Boulder preamplifier right here. See that? I have two systems. So absolutely, by all means, do it. I have never heard Thrax amps. NOLA speakers, I heard them. Open baffle design at the top. Mixed opinions at this time. Not 100% sure I really dig it. Ampzilla. You know what? I almost heard it. Someone was going to send them to me for me to try. I just didn't follow through with the person. But I hear great things about the Ampzillas as far as really the price performance is incredible with that amplification. Let me see. Will I ever go to horns and low power tubes? Here's the problem, guys. If I buy a speaker like horns, right, that need a specific type of amplification, guys, I'll never be able to review other amplifiers. I'm stuck. Imagine me using a speaker that's 108 decibels of efficiency with a 900 watt per channel Boulder 3060. You can't really do that. You know what I'm saying? So you guys want my opinions on amplifiers, preamplifiers, and I need to have a speaker that allows me to evaluate all of these types of amplification. I can't do that with a horn speaker. I can't do that with a speaker that is that efficient. Okay, so it's going to limit what I can and cannot do. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so remember that. Estelon speakers was phenomenal. I thought I love what I heard with the Krell amplifier. Amazing. Which, by the way, I am going to be working on the Krell integrated review. Okay, I'm planning to work on it. Tommy, thank you so much, Tommy, for the collaboration. Thank you for the donation, Tommy. I appreciate you, Tommy. Thank you so much for the support, man. Thank you for that donation. Let me read your question. Any experience with PATs, speakers? Never. Tommy, first time I hear about that brand. Maybe it's something I need to start educating myself on. I have never heard of that brand, Tommy. Fortunately, I can't help you with that. Joseph Audio, I liked them, Dave, at the Capital Audio Fest in 2021. They didn't really impress me at the at Expona this year, though. So remember, sometimes, guys, that happens. Okay, you'll have a room that was shining in a particular venue, and then they really fall apart the following. That happens. Okay, sometimes the rooms have a lot to do with that. Okay, remember that. So just because a room shines in a particular setting does not mean that it will shine again and again and again. The room has a lot to do with it. Keep that in mind. ML, when did I start taking this hobby serious? Man, I started taking this serious when you guys started to give me the time of the day. Okay, so if you want to know when did I start to take this next level, is the moment you all started to pay attention to me, because now I feel I have a responsibility to be honest with you guys, to be truthful with you all, and of course to be able to bring you some of the coolest stuff out there, man. You know, I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy that when you want to see the extreme, the esoteric, and occasionally I may give you something, you know, a little more affordable, like the Krell integrated review that I'm going to be working on, then I'll do that, right? So I want to push your senses. I want to bring the craziness, the craziest cables, the things that you guys have never even thought about, but you want me to, you know, do it because it's something interesting to understand and look at. I want to be that dude. Does that make sense? That's what I want to be. I want to be that guy for you all. The new MSB renderer. Okay, Phillips. So that's not a renderer. The MSB is called a director. The director of MSB. Okay, so MSB just recently announced a director component for, I believe, three out of four for most of their DACs, except the entry level DAC. So MSB has just released something called the director. And what it will be is basically a chassis that houses all the digital inputs. The inputs that you see on the back of an MSB DAC, all the opticals, BNCs, AES, right? All of that, okay? Basically, that will be taken out of the DAC and put on an external chassis. And then this chassis is going to connect to the DAC with a different type of connector, with a fiber optic cable, essentially isolating the digital inputs on a separate housing. That's going to allow to have basically more processing power, because now you have a much more powerful device next to the main DAC. Okay, so the DAC is going to continue to do its magic, which is converting digital into voltage, right? And then you're going to have the director next to it that's going to house all the digital inputs that normally come on the back of the MSB DAC. So when you connect all your inputs on this new director, that director will essentially pass the information through a fiber optic cable into your MSB DAC. Now you have two chassis computing basically everything, doing all the processing. Think of it as adding a supercharger or a turbo to your engines. Okay, that's what that will do. And it will eventually lower the floor noise and give you far more resolution. It is supposed to take things to the next level. Now, I know, and I spoke to MSB briefly, they do not plan to be shipping any of these until August. Okay, so they're still waiting on certain parts to come in before they're able to roll them out to the public. I am highly interested in bringing the director from MSB to see what it does. But I don't know. Is it going to be better than having a music server? Maybe, maybe not. But if it is better than having a music server, I'm selling my music servers. You guys heard it from me. If that director completely stumps on my music servers, I am not keeping a music server ever again. I will buy a $300 room nucleus or something like that, or a $500 room nucleus, and I'll put it somewhere in the room and just control my MSB DAC through Roon and forget about music servers for the rest of my life. We'll see if that's going to happen. Thank you, guys. Man, look at those comments, man. I'm just here trying to share some of my free time with you guys, and it means the world to me to see some of the comments that I'm seeing here. Man, you all are amazing. I really appreciate your comments, guys. Thank you for all these donations you guys have been giving me today. I got another 7 minutes that I want to share with you guys in the best way possible. And of course, I want to take the opportunity to continue to let you guys know that you are the reason why I do what I do. I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I know I got some haters out there. I know I got some trolls. Yes, trolls are part of life. I know haters are part of life. Everybody's got haters. But to the haters, if you're going to be hating on me, I got a full-time job for you, because you're going to be hating me for a long time. And to the guys, to everyone else, ladies and gentlemen, to those of you who love me, you are the reason for me. You are the reason, the entire reason as to why I keep doing what I'm doing. You guys, those of you who are standing behind me, supporting me, and those of you who enjoy my content, who love what I do, you are the guys that keep me just freaking like this, just pushing hard and not letting go. Just remember that, okay? Who helps me pack the heavy gear? Guys, I recently bought a pickup truck. I bought a Ford Super Duty F350. And so now I can tow my own speakers, I can tow my amps, I can tow everything. So I do a lot of it. Now, when it comes to lifting, sometimes I hire help. I have a guy who comes in and I pay him. He comes in, he helps me for a few hours on a Sunday afternoon, pack up the heavy stuff, load it up, and take it to my local hub, UPS, FedEx, you name it, and ship them out. So I typically have help, although most of the time I do a lot of the heavy lifting. The best preamplifier that I found with Griffin to me was the VAC Master from VAC. That was phenomenal. The VAC Master preamplifier with Griffin is amazing. As a matter of fact, if you want to know, I sold my VAC Master to a Griffin owner who heard it on my channel, emails me, tells me, oh my God, I want that VAC Master. Sold it to him. And he's never looked back. He's like blown away with the VAC Master. He's like, gosh, I don't know how you did this, Jay. I don't know how you came about this combination, but I am just floored with the VAC Master and my Griffin Essence monos. And the guy is happy, and he sold his Essence preamplifier and replaced it with the VAC Master. So the VAC Master and the Griffin audio amps is phenomenal, guys. Phenomenal. Okay, guys, anything else? Anything else before I go? No opinion on Sablon audio cables. I have asked Sablon or Sablon cables, however you want to pronounce it, Sablon cables. I emailed them to send me a pair of USB or a cable or something to evaluate. And unfortunately, they were not interested. Just so you guys know, they told me that those are built to order and they didn't have any lingering for me to evaluate. So Sablon cables, if you're watching this, or if you or any of you guys know about Sablon cables, I have requested it. Maybe now they're open. Now that I'm a larger channel now with more subscribers, maybe they want to put some cables at my floor for me to evaluate. The word on the street is that these cables are phenomenal. Guys, I cannot tell you that because I have never owned Sablon cables. Yes. So do I think it is worth the 20% improvement to spend on what I have spent on gear? So the 20% improvement at this level that I'm at does not exist. At this level where I am with this equipment that I have behind me, guys, okay, this is not an easy 20% that you can get unless I spend $100,000 to $200,000 on top. At this level where I'm walking, 1% improvement can cost me 10 grand. That's an example at this level. So to say that I can go up 20% from what I currently have, think about it. I have a Select 2 DAC, which is over 100 grand. Boulder 3060, which is 142. Boulder 21 preamp, which is 70,000. All the transparent Opus cabling. I mean, a lot of the components that I have are some of the best components available. So for me to get 20% improvement, I mean, I am going to have to spend, I would say, 100 grand, at least $100,000 on top. So the speaker conversation is always, Jay, are you going to replace your Focal Maestros? Guys, I got to tell you, I'm getting great results with Maestros. My Focal Maestros Evos sound amazing in here. Amazing. I don't even want to mess with them. They just sound phenomenal. I have to tell you. So for now, they're here to stay until something else comes in and I feel it's just better. Okay. But for now, I have no intention of replacing the Maestros. Now, Johnson, so I don't know who told you the solid state amps don't provide you the three-dimensionality that tube gear gives you. You got to find the right solid state. Especially the three-dimensionality comes from Class A amplifiers. A lot of that comes from Class A amplifiers, okay? So if you can find great Class A amplifiers, you'll find the three-dimensionality. That 3D effect you're looking for, you'll get it from Class A. How do I sell some of my amplifiers without getting attached? Well, let me just say this. I had a very good offer on my Boulder 3060. I had a guy from Canada, a great customer of mine, who wanted to wire me the money for the Boulder 3060. He said to me, I'm ready to go. When you're ready to take payment, I'll wire the money and you can ship the Boulder 3060. I still cannot get myself to sell the Boulder 3060. I am afraid of selling the Boulder 3060. Being truth, keeping it real with you guys. I am unable to get rid of my 3060. because I feel that once it's gone, I don't know when I'll see one again. 3060 Boulder is a special machine. Special. This is the amplifier you can retire with, for real. Lampensator Pacific DAC is a great DAC. I had it here briefly. I had it on my channel. I loved it, by the way. Lampensator Pacific was great. It's very musical, very engaging, very smooth, not bright, very organic. I loved it. I really like what they do over at Lampensator. I mean, these Polish people know what they're doing. Let me tell you, they don't play games. They do build some great DACs. Dannon, why not watch movies with this system? Because of the fact that I have a 11.2 surround sound system already. My entire room is rigged with in-wall speakers everywhere. So it kind of just doesn't make sense to use two speakers when I have 13 speakers around the room. That's why. David, I have never heard the DCS Apex upgrade. I wish I could, but I have never heard it, unfortunately. Rich, maybe someday the JBL Everest could be a reality. I know where to get a pair. Okay, so maybe at some point I can bring some JBL speakers into my room. Right now, as I mentioned to you guys, I have another set of JBL speakers coming in. They should be with me. I'm sorry, not JBL. I have another set of speakers coming in. They are not JBL. They should be here by the end of next week. It's going to take me about another week to get them into position, to play with them. And then you're going to start hearing comparisons between the focals and the other speakers, which, by the way, will not be revealed to you all until you hear them first several times against my focal. Because I want you guys to decide if you prefer the other speaker or this speaker without hearing them, without knowing them, what they are. So when I bring the next speaker, right, what I'm going to do is I am going to do A and B comparisons of this speaker and the other speaker. Hear me out. When I do that, I am going to hide the identity of the other speaker and the focal. You are not going to know what's playing. I am going to zoom in on the Boulder and the 2110 and my MSB DAC. The camera will be looking at only the electronics. The speakers will not be part of the screen. And I'm going to play the same song back to back, two different speakers. Then you guys are going to vote and decide which presentation you like. And then once we have a couple of videos like that, like 3 or 4 different videos, I will come front and center and unveil the next speaker that will show up at my lab and give you the results to see if you guys prefer the new speaker over my focals or not, because that will give you a lot of reference points and it will keep you guys unbiased. Because I feel that when you guys know what that other speaker is, some of you guys are going to vote for it because you may own this brand. And I don't want you guys to do that. What have I tried? Have I tried expensive headphones? Not really. I mean, not really. $400 headphones? Nothing crazy. Nothing like $2,000, $3,000 headphones. Yeah, YG acoustics are great speakers, man. Those Haley's are good speakers. I wouldn't be worried about it. I hear YG sounds a lot like Magical. So if you like a lot of resolution, I think you're gonna love them. I think you're gonna love the resolution of the YG acoustics. So don't be too concerned. I think you're gonna love YG acoustics. I think that speaker is gonna be fine. It's a very good speaker. I mean, you're not buying garbage. If you're worried about that, don't worry. It's not garbage. Okay, it's a great speaker brand. I like what they do. I think they're built in Colorado. I want to say Boulder, Colorado, maybe. I think they're in Colorado somewhere. So with that said, guys, it's over 2 hours of talking to you all. I thank you so much for your time. Thank you for those of you who donated today. Really appreciate you. Appreciate all of you, to be fair. Every single one of you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. Thank you for everything you do for me. And remember, I am sharing my passion, and this is only one man's opinion about this level of gear. only my opinion, my humble opinion. You guys are in position to choose whatever you want. And if you love it, that's all that matters. If you love what you're buying and you love what you're here in your room, man, I'm happy for you. Don't buy what I'm telling you to buy because you got the right formula in your home. If you want to just use my channel because it really is good content, you want to see what's coming, you want to see the extreme, you're entertained by the brands that you typically only see on magazines, hey, I'm happy with that too. It's great. I appreciate the fact that you guys are subscribed. The only thing I ask, please subscribe. It is important to like the videos. You guys know it. Liking the videos makes my channel grow faster. The more subscribers we got, guess what? The more leverage I have against a lot of these companies. The more I get noticed, the more product I'm going to bring in front of you guys. And the only way you guys can help me is subscribing. That is it. That's all you got to do. Even if you don't hit the notifications bell button, it's cool. Just subscribe. The bigger I am, the more people are going to look at me, the more the industry is going to look at me, and the more they're going to feel forced to put on my door to review and to give you guys my opinion on. The guy that started without writing for a magazine, normal guy like you guys, like everyone here, 118 of you all, normal guy like you guys. I started without anything, Polk audio speakers, okay? And here I am in a better position to bring you some of the best electronics because you guys are supporting me. And as long as you guys are behind me, they're going to keep watching us. They're going to keep watching your comments. They're going to keep watching your views of every one of my videos. They're going to keep watching my content. And then I get the calls to review gear that you guys might be interested in. So remember, you are a huge part of this effort that I have here at Jay's Audio Lab. Okay? My website will launch pretty soon. Stay tuned for that. It's not ready yet, but it will be launched. And you're going to get to see far more things about me. Even all my videos, my YouTube videos will be there too. So I appreciate you all. Thank you again for everything you've done for me. Until the next time, stay tuned for more. And I am going to bring you all a very special speaker, as I mentioned. Stay tuned. Peace.